Okay, as you know, some time ago I made an early kit video of Hyacine, which will release in the upcoming 3.3. Well, today we finally get a complete rumor about the full kit that has been circulating about this character. From the 3.3 deep marketing information, we already know that Hyacine herself has a pretty unique kit where her ultimate can increase the maximum HP of all teammates, which is very good for new characters like Tribbie, Mydei, and Castorice. She is also rumored to have high speed and high damage output. Can Hyacine compete with the best sustain in the current meta or even shift the position? So without further ado, I'm Hoyostation, and in this video we will discuss about full kit of Hyacine version 3.3. Let's do this. Do you have a character or weapon in the game that you really want but you don't have enough stellar jades? Here is a smarter way to recharge your favorite games like Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail. Look no further than Lootbar. Lootbar is the most reliable top-up platform. It saves up to 23% for all orders compared with the official channel, and it provides an 80% off for your first purchase. It's 100% safe as you will only be using your UID. We will buy pack for 3000 stellar jades for $42, which otherwise would have costed $50, totally saving $7.5. We received the crystals we purchased in the less than 3 minutes. All recharges will be done through the official channel with MiHoYo, which allows you to enjoy all top-up offers. Ready to level up your gaming experience? Check the link in the description to get the amazing discount. Okay, now for some basic information about this character. Before we go into more detail about Hyacine's kit, I would like to give you a disclaimer first that the information I'm giving in this video is a kit that is still in beta. So there may be some changes to the kit I'm giving in right now. Hyacine is a character that will be released in the upcoming version 3.3 according to the drip marketing released yesterday by Hoyoverse. Hyacine has a wind type with the Remembrance Path, which is also the third limited characters from the Remembrance Path after Aglaia and Castorice. Like the common kits owned by Abundance characters, Hyacine has a kit that can provide healing to all teammates through her skills and ultimate. The amount of healing she provides is also quite high, making her a good fit for teams with HP burning mechanics, such as Castorice and Mydei. In addition, Hyacine is rumored to have very high speed, and her base speed is one of the highest speed in the game right now. Oh yeah, she also has a kit that is quite unique, namely she has a MEMOSPRITE called Ika that can deal a lot of damage to enemies. Okay, without further ado, we will enter into a brief discussion about the kit of Hyacine version 3.3. First of all, we will talk a bit about the base stats. As you can see, Hyacine has a very low base HP, even though her kit scales to maximum HP. However, keep in mind that she is a character that needs speed more than any other base stat, so this shortcoming is easily to overcome. Then for the base attack of Hyacine itself, which is very low at 388 points. Of course, this is natural because none of her kits scale from attack and she is not a character that focuses on providing attacks. One interesting thing here is that her base speed is quite high at 110 points, even if we compare her to Aglaia herself, both of whom require high speed. She has a base speed that is much higher than Aglaia's by a difference of 8 points. Also, Hyacine has maximum energy at 150 points, although I think it's a bit high. Of course, we can overcome it with rope energy and also fast speed, so she can get a lot of turns and launch the ultimate at the right time. Next, we enter Hyacine's skill called Love at the Scattering of the Rainbow. This skill summons a MEMOSPRITE named Ika and restores the HP of all teammates except Ika based on 8% of Hyacine's maximum HP, plus 160 points, and restores Ika's HP by 10% of Hyacine's maximum HP plus 200 points. Now, this skill is similar to several other Remembrance characters such as RMC that can provide recovery to all teammates, which of course some characters will benefit from this skill, one of which is Castorice. Now that we have discussed her skills, we will discuss her ultimate called We Who Fly into Twilight. This ultimate will summon Ika and restore the HP of all teammates by a slightly higher percentage than the skill, which is 10% of Hyacine's maximum HP plus 200 points, and restore Ika's HP by 12% of Hyacine's maximum HP plus 240 points. In addition, Hyacine will enter Petrichor Clear Skies mode, which lasts for 3 turns. The duration of this mode decreases each turn of Hyacine. When Hyacine is in Petrichor Clear Skies mode, the maximum HP of all teammates increases by 30% plus 600 points. Actually, her ultimate effect is similar to her skills, where she restores HP to teammates and can summon Ika. The difference here is that her ultimate will provide a very large increase in maximum HP for all teammates, which is very useful for characters that scale with maximum HP, such as Blade, Mydei, Castorice, and Tribbie. As their HP increases, so does the damage they produce. Interesting, right? Next, we will discuss Hyacine's talent called Downgrade to heal the world. Ika has HP equal to 50% of Hyacine's maximum HP. When Hyacine or Ika heals, it increases Ika's damage by 80% for 2 turns and can be stacked up to 3 times. The effect of this talent is similar to the increased damage of Tribbie's Trace, which can also increase the damage of her follow-up attack. If we do a little math here, the damage increased by Ika from this talent can reach up to 240% at its highest stacking. And with the percentage of that size, it means that Ika will play a big role in providing damage output. Next, we will discuss her MEMOSPRITE named Ika. Her MEMOSPRITE skill called Rain Clouds Begun will give wind damage to all enemies equal to 20% of the healing that Hyacine and Ika do in battle. So the more healing that Hyacine does, the greater the attack damage from this skill. Then, after using the MEMOSPRITE skill, it will clean 50% of the amount of healing done. Now, this kit is quite interesting to discuss. The essence of this kit is that every time Hyacine and Ika heal teammates, 20% of that amount is stored and used by Ika when it's her turn. The damage dealt by this skill will certainly vary depending on the amount of healing Hyacine and Ika are doing. Interestingly, since using this skill only removes 50% of the amount of healing done each time Ika attacks, if the healing is consistent, then the amount of damage from this attack will always increase with the length of the battle, making the damage even greater. Next, we will enter the first MEMOSPRITE talent called Holding Clear Sky's Hand. Ika's speed will start at 0 and will not enter the action sequence, which will not be visible in the upper left corner. If a teammate other than Hyacine is affected by HP reduction, each turn, Hyacine will consume 4% of her HP and provide a heal equal to 2% of Hyacine's maximum HP, plus 20 points to teammate whose HP is reduced. If Hyacine is in Petrichoric Clear Skies mode, which she gains from her ultimate, Ika will immediately get a turn to attack when Hyacine casts her ability. In addition, when Ika casts a talent effect that can provide healing to team members, Ika will provide additional healing worth 2% of Hyacine's maximum HP plus 20 points. This talent is very interesting because it determines when Ika gets her turn, which is when Hyacine gets Petrichoric Clear Skies mode and spends her ability. Now, since Hyacine has great speed, the effect of this talent will be active a lot of the time, so Ika's attacks will be triggered a lot of the time. In addition, the benefit of Petrichoric Clear Skies mode will provide additional healing to team members experiencing HP reduction, so the amount of healing it provides will be greater. For the next MEMOSPRITE support called Spread Wings, Toward the Sun will provide Hyacine with 15 energy when summoned and 30 energy when first summoned. This effect looks simple, I know, but it has a lot of value because it allows Hyacine to trigger her ultimate on the first turn she summons Ika. Interesting, right? Furthermore, the last MEMOSPRITE support called Free Fall and Then Fly will advance Hyacine's action by 30% when Ika disappears from the battle. In fact, this effect will be quite useful so that Ika can be summoned immediately when Ika disappears from the battle. But unfortunately, because the speed and healing provided by the kit are quite massive, it will certainly be difficult for Ika to lose in battle because she will constantly healed by Hyacine. But still, this kit is quite useful. Okay, we have discussed Hyacine's MEMOSPRITE. Now we will discuss the technique called Weather Perfect All is Adorable. When you enter battle, it will increase the HP of all teammates by 30% of Hyacine's maximum HP plus 600 points. And it will also increase the maximum HP of all teammates by 20% for 2 turns. The effect of this technique is certainly very good, guys, because in addition to the massive HP recovery, the addition of 20% HP to all team members is certainly very influential for teams that use HP burning mechanics like Castorice, increasing their damage output at the beginning of the turn. In addition, since Hyacine can trigger her ultimate early in the turn, the effect of this technique will be even better because all allies will get an additional 50% HP. Next, we move on to her traces section. For minor traces, it will provide 14 speed points, 18% effect resistance, and 10% HP, where these 3 stat bonuses will be very useful for Hyacine. The addition of 10% HP will be useful for increasing the amount of healing we can provide, while the addition of 14 speed to this minor trace is one of the highest speed additions we can get in this game. So it's clear that this trace has a very good value. Next we will discuss her first trace. For the first trace, called Tempestuous Halt, when Hyacine's speed exceeds 200 points, it increases her maximum HP and also increases EK by 20%. Then for every 1 speed over 200 points, Hyacine's outgoing healing and EK will increase by 1% until the maximum of 200 speed points that can be added. Actually, the effect of this trace is quite good because we can get an additional maximum HP for Hyacine and EK by 20%. But honestly, the given conditions are not easy, namely by having speed over 200 points. Of course, the effect of this trace is not easy to activate, especially if you use a relic that does not have speed status on the substat. Also, to be able to touch 200 speed, we need a lot of things that we need to get, namely the latest relic set that can add speed and also its special light cone that can provide a pretty massive speed status. Honestly, the effect of this trace is quite difficult to activate, especially if we are new players who have limited relics. For the next trace called Gentle Thunderstorm, it increases Hyacine's effect resistance by 50% and when using skills and ultimate will remove 1 debuff from all teammates. Well, this trace is very useful, whether it's for Hyacine herself or for all teammates, where Hyacine already has a base effect resistance of 50%, which when added with minor traces will be 68%. Which we can easily reach 100% through the substat of the relic. This means that with a very high resistant effect, Hyacine will be hard to debuff, which will make her kit run well. In addition, she also has a debuff removal effect that can be triggered every time Hyacine casts her skills and ultimates, which is also a good effect and actually a must-have for healer characters. For her last trace, called Cloudy Green, it increases Hyacine and EK's critical rate by 100%. With this effect, both of them will definitely provide critical attacks when attacking enemies, making this character does not need critical rate status at all. In addition, when giving healing to teammates whose HP is equal to or below 50%, it increases the outgoing healing of Hyacine and EK by 25%. Now, because of the effect of Castorice, which can suck up the HP of all existing team members, the potential for adding outgoing healing is maximized and often to trigger. Interesting, right? Finally, we come to the last part of her kit, the EIDOLON section. Her first EIDOLON, Safeguard the Candle in the Night, will increase the effect of adding maximum HP for Patrichoric Clear Skies mode by 50%. When Hyacine is in Patrichoric Clear Skies mode, teammates will instantly restore 8% of Hyacine's maximum HP after attacking an enemy. The first EIDOLON effect will provide lifesteal similar to Luocha's and Gallagher's talent when we attack the enemy. In addition, the maximum HP increase from the ultimate mode will be increased by 50% again, which is a very good effect for characters that are scaling HP. All in all, this EIDOLON has a very interesting effect. Honestly, her first EIDOLON effect has a very interesting effect. First, the effect of this EIDOLON is increased by 50% of what was previously provided by the effect of Patrichoric Clear Skies. So the total addition HP gained by all allies including Hyacine herself is 45%. This figure is certainly very big and very influential for any character that has scaling against HP, such as the additional damage and also additional healing that Hyacine will provide. In addition, this EIDOLON will also provide a healing effect to characters who routinely attack enemies. So characters like Castorice and also Mydei will maintain stable HP after attacking enemies. Very interesting, right? Then for the second EIDOLON, Come Sit in My Courtyard, will increase the speed of teammates by 30% when their HP is reduced. This effect lasts for 2 turns and obviously this speed increase is quite interesting. In addition to this relatively large increase in speed, the effect of this EIDOLON does not specify the cause of the HP reduction. This means that allies who get HP reduction from Castorice's kit will also get this effect, guys. Now, since Castorice can routinely reduce the HP of all teammates, this kit is kind of a permanent effect on all allies. Unfortunately, while this EIDOLON has an interesting effect, it does not have the effect on Castorice herself. The fourth EIDOLON, Gleaming Ember for You, increases the buff effect of the Tempestuous Halt trace. Each 1 point of excess speed increases the critical damage of Hyacine and EK by 2%. If we refer to the effect of Trace, which provides additional healing up to 200 excess speed, then the effect of this EIDOLON will also provide up to 400% additional critical damage if we have at least 400 speed. Of course, this effect is impossible to achieve under normal circumstances, but this effect is intended for certain modes, such as the endgame content of Divergent Universe. Finally, for her 6th eidolon named Oskai Heed My Wishes. After Ikai uses the MEMOSPRITE skill, she will remove 1% of the healing effect, down from 50%. When Ikai is in combat, she increases the all-type resistance of all teammates by 24%. Now, this is a good eidolon, guys. If you look at the example of the calculation demonstration that I described to you, then roughly through this eidolon, her damage output will increase up to 3 times. Aside from the fact that this eidolon deals a lot of damage to the MEMOSPRITE, this all-type resistant penetration buff is also a very good and very useful buff for all conditions, and it can be used by almost all characters. Of course, it's a very good and natural buff because it's the effect of Eidolon 6. In the next section, we will discuss Hyacine's signature lightcon called May Rainbows Remain in the Sky. This lightcon will increase the user's speed by 18%. Other facts, when the user uses basic attack, skills, or ultimate will reduce the HP of all teammates by 1% of their current HP. And after the next attack by the user's MEMOSPRITE, it will provide 1 additional damage equal to 250% of the total HP consumed to attack the enemy. The total HP consumed is reset. When the user's MEMOSPRITE uses the MEMOSPRITE skill, it increases the damage received by all enemies by 18% for 2 turns. The effect of this lightcon works well for Hyacine, of course. It also fits characters like Mydei, Blade, and Castorice who want to reduce their HP to maximize their kit. In addition, this effect will also make the amount of healing Hyacine provides greater, which will make the damage of MEMOSPRITE skills greater as well. In addition, the addition of damage after the user's MEMOSPRITE launches an attack depends on the amount of HP consumed, which will also be very useful for adding damage from Ikai. Okay guys, maybe that's all for now. What do you think about her kit? Please leave any comments down below and don't forget to check out my other videos because they are just as cool. Thanks for watching, stay safe, stay healthy, and see you in the next video.